Good morning, everyone. Today is a bit of an unusual day in that I will purposely be doing two streams. At least I'm planning on doing two streams. I had this sort of tweeted out this morning. There's a different stream schedule today. I'm going to stream for 2 hours now and then 2 hours again in the afternoon. So I need to, well, just remind me when it's been 2 hours. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I got to get back to what I was doing yesterday. I don't want to waste any time. Oh, gotta start that up. Yeah, I don't want to waste any time because there's a lot to do. So that does not have outstanding code, and this does, but it's relatively simple. So this is where I left off. I'm going to ignore this for now. So overhaul the matchmake function. Yeah. Yeah, where did that code go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, right. Okay. So matchmake. Attempt to form a game. Oh, zero Emmy. Alright. Oh, and by the way, one other thing I want to mention really quickly is, so I took a poll yesterday on what people wanted out of the stream schedule today. Oh, that's weird. Not found. That's never happened. I wonder if they delete them now after a short amount of time. Huh, well, I can't show you guys. But basically, there wasn't one particular answer that rose above all the other ones. So I'm doing this. 2 hours, 2 hours. Alright, so first make sure there are enough players. Hey, Skilled Bubble. Make sure there are enough players in the queue for a game. Otherwise, we'll just waste time trying to search. And eventually, we'll have to make sure that we can get a game server. So take the player with the longest wait time. We just peek at the player with the longest wait time. We just peek at this player because we may not end up removing them if we don't find a match. Alright, skill and flex. Get their current skill level. What do we use flex for? Oh, I see. Get their current skill level. We want to see if we already have enough players at this. This is the most balanced matchmaking. Yep. This will keep track of which players are in the game. Do I need to? Aha, I do. Either we leave it empty or we fill it so that its length is equal to players per game. And does this still exist? Yes. Okay. First to not be the first. I don't even know if that's true. So if players of the same skill dot length is greater than or equal to this dot players per game, note this will always include longest waiting player. Yep, sounds good. Also, flex is greater than 0. We couldn't find enough players within their skill level, so search outside of it in the flex range. So min and max, relevant arrays. This is where things get weird. To do, this is computed incorrectly. See the next to do item in this function. We already know at longest, we already know that longest waiting player. But what's this? This is computed incorrectly. Player array equals this dot players by skill I. Don't count the player we're searching for since all of these arrays definitely contain them. Relevant arrays dot push player array. And relevant arrays is going to contain oh, that's weird. Just pick players until we have enough. Yeah, I think I understand. Hey, Asku. Can set crons to send messages. Please don't do what I think your immediate hunch is to do. The Adam, you're doing a great job on every 42 minutes. I think this is wrong. I think the issue here is that relevant arrays is going to contain the player every time. So if non-available players is greater than or equal to players per game. So we know there are enough players, so now we just need to pick them correctly. For now we just pick players until we have enough, but in the future we should probably randomly sample from all flex levels. This keeps track of players we've already seen, since the same player can be in multiple skill levels. Ah, I see. Okay. This actually isn't too bad. I don't think this is computed incorrectly then. These are, well, I could probably call this relevant list, but it really doesn't matter. These are these are players added by, wait a second. Players by skill I. Players by skill is what, an array? Aha, yeah, they're arrays. But I'm pushing arrays here then. That doesn't sound right. Relevant list. Yeah, I don't think I should do that. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, I could just say relevant players, and I could just make it a set. And then, not sure what's best. This way it works. So these are, so this is an array of arrays. Each inner array is an entire skill level's worth of players. So now we add them. Note, relevant lists may contain duplicates. We'll handle that below. Actually, relevant lists will contain duplicates. Don't count the player we're searching for, since all of these arrays definitely contain them. With longest. Okay. Hey, Tempura. Alright, so add the player we're searching for. This is not even correct, I think. So we know there are enough players to start a game, so now we just need to pick them correctly. For now, we just pick players until we have enough, but in the future, we should probably randomly sample from all flex levels. Yeah, this keeps track of players we've already seen, since the same player can be in multiple skill levels. Keys, ID, values, player. Alright, so player, so mark the longest waiting player as already having been picked. Oh wait, no, values aren't players. Why did I do it this way? Players in game are just IDs. For each, remove players, blah blah blah. Eventually, if there's a discrepancy in skill, try to distribute, yeah. Oh yeah, Mike, I think those aren't mutually exclusive. I think they are somewhat difficult, and I also think they're really useful. And if you haven't heard of Regex 101, I highly suggest that site for testing out Regex. I'll link this in the chat. And hey, FPS. So here, you can type in a regular expression. So let's say I wanted to do like hi or hello dot star world. And I could type G here. And then I could type something like hi world and it'll find it, and hello world and it'll find it, but goodbye world won't. And it'll match and it'll tell you why all of these things are happening the way that it is, and it's really, really good. I really like this site. So players in game, the ones that we return here, these are going to be by, also, did I string, this is a UUID. I'll say, nah, players ID from the database, really a number. I said it returns an array of players. Is that even correct? I'm going places. Yeah, I am going places. Players in game is a set of players. Yeah, wow. Okay, I don't think there's a reason for that. Right? We have, well, maybe. We might want their skill level. I don't know. So then why are these not players? Why did I do that? Oh, players in game are players. I see. So values are just Boolean. So we're really just using this as though it's a set. Yeah. So I should just use a set, which apparently is in Node now. Where are sets? Here we go. S equals new set. S dot add. S dot size. Why do they call it size, not length? Excuse me. Hey, Moose. Okay, right, I can use this. New set. Yeah, okay, I can use it. So let's just make it a new set. Let's track of players of the IDs of players that we've already seen. So this is just going to be new set. Now, players picked. The way we add to a set is dot add. So players picked dot add. We don't need this now. Good. And then everywhere else we use players picked, I gotta change how this works. So this is dot has. Okay. Players picked dot add. Whoops. And then anywhere else this shows up? No, that's it. Yeah, so that made this a little bit easier to use. Man, thank you. I think keep track of the number that we picked. I don't think I need to do that because I think players picked, if we add to this, no, I take that back. But I think players in game always keeps track of that, huh? Yeah, because I push here. This starts off as nothing, right? Although really it should start off as the player, but whatever. So it starts off and then its length is going to be 1, and then every time you push to it, its length is going to go up. Num players picked. So we don't need this at all. We just need if players in game dot length and num players picked we can get rid of. This is why I'm overhauling this. What's the difference between a map and a set? So a map is a key value pair. That's everything you add to it is going to be that. A set is just unique keys, I would say. So in a map you might have, let's say you had a map of, you know, here's what I was doing. I'll tell you semantically what I wanted. So before I knew that set was even in Node, which apparently is in 5.x, I was using a map just to keep track of which players were there. So a map looks like this. I would say like player 5, yep, they've been found. Player 6, yep, they've been found. The problem is I was never using these Boolean values. All I wanted was the property of maps that the keys were unique. So instead, that's when you want to use a set. So now I could just say that the set would sort of look like this. Just, oh yeah, we got player 5, we got player 6. Actually, it look more like this, I guess. And if I try adding 6 again, it'll just say, nope, I already have them. Hey, Olo. All right. Check to see if we have enough players to start a game. Then if we do, hey Davey. Hey again, Remy. Alright, so I go over this array. This could potentially be longest waiting player, and at some point will be that player. So if this just has it, then, oh, whoops, wait, if this is not, if it doesn't have it, then add them and then push them into there, yeah. Okay, bail out if we have found enough players. I wonder if add returns, no, it returns the set, so that's not going to be helpful, okay. Bail out if we found enough players, good, cool. So to do, this problem occurs because we compute num available players incorrectly. We may run into a situation like this. The code will think num available players is 6, but actually it's only 4. Players in game dot length is not equal to this dot players in per game. Yeah, that is kind of a problem, huh? That's why I said this is computed incorrectly. I see. I just happen to have two to-do items there. You learned the confirming thingy in JS? What do you mean? Num available players. So here's what I probably could change this to. Because this is technically wrong. What I could do is right here push players into the list only if they haven't been seen at this point. Where's the trash can? There's dust on my desk. Chrome console thingy. Oh, alert? It doesn't work. I converted this one. Yeah, I don't see why I didn't do it this way. Let me see what the code looked like if I had done it that way. In fact, let's just copy paste all this over here so that I have an identical copy. Okay, so then we got to go back to the same line, I guess 255-ish. Yeah. So what if we did const potential players equals new set, and then every time we found a player array, we just added them all. So underscore dot map player array potential players dot add. You probably can't do this. Dot bind potential players. Can I do this? I don't think I can. Let's try it out. So const potential players. Actually, let's just do this. Equals new set, and I had a list of players. So players equals ID 4, ID 5, ID 6. Now, can I do this? Map players. Object array is not a function. Wait, is that not the syntax for that? Is every game on a server going to be its own process? Yeah. Flat map. Map collection iterate. Well, that was worth a shot. Right, the function I was looking for was add, yeah. Add.bind potential players. What if I just said this? I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah. And what if I said this instead? Wait, why is it saying that? Oh no. Oh darn it. I know why. Sometimes I do bad things. Alright, let's do it this way. I keep forgetting underscore is not what I think it is in the REPL. Alright, we just need to rerun this, but here, node const ld equals require load dash. And then I change this to ld, and then we rerun that. Oh, that almost worked. It returned an array of these results. So wait, what does potential players have now? Set ID. Oh, it's just returning the set multiple times. I don't know if I want to do that then. Because it's accumulating results that I don't need. I mean, I guess they're just references. Hey, Tupperbox. But that is the fastest way to write this line of code. I don't know if for each would be any better here. Of course, I could just do this way. Player potential players dot add player. That would also work. So let's try that. ld dot map players player potential players dot add player. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm gonna go with this. That's not how this is supposed to work. Am I just adding their IDs here? Players picked. Yeah, it was just IDs. Potential player IDs. Potential player IDs. Yeah, okay. So then we do here player.id. So what if I'd done that? Potential players equals new set. Then we do this player.id. Set 456. Okay. So, like I said, I think this is fine. The problem is that if there were like 100 people in here, then I'm going to be returning the same set 100 times. And it's just a waste of memory. Almost to the point where I don't know if it's worth having just a single line of code to represent this when I could just do it a different way. What if, let me try this again. Let me just do ld.for each players player. What does this return? Yeah, just the wait, what does for each return? Man, I don't think I want either of these. Huh. What do you try to do? No, I'm accomplishing what I'm trying to do. So I have a set of players and I wanted to just put them all inside of a set so that they'd be unique. And like I said, that's working. I just wanted to make it so it doesn't use extra memory. So I think just the best way to do this is this. Let's just do this. J equals 0. J is less than player array dot length plus plus j. Potential player IDs dot push or dot add player array j dot id. There. What time do you get up in the morning? I try to get up at 7:40, but today and yesterday I've been waking up much earlier because the weather's been getting way hotter and it's hard to set the right temperature in the room. I actually slept in this room last night because this is where the air conditioner is. It's pretty important stuff. Yeah, this is so much cleaner. So much cleaner, but it consumes extra memory that keeps increasing based on how many things I'm using here, whereas this one doesn't. So I guess I just add an extra line of code for that. Okay, so here I have the IDs now, and then at the end of this I can just get the size of the set and I'll know exactly how many people there are. I think this is better code. I don't even think I need to do a num available players. I get rid of this, I get rid of this, get rid of that. Then here I just say if this dot size is greater than this dot players per game, then, oh, you know what? There's something that's, can you remove from a set easily? S dot has, they don't show removing from a set. Does potential players. Add, clear, delete, there it is. So I could say delete 5, for example, right? Yeah, and then it returns false, good. 50 degrees of American measurement. Here it is currently 62 degrees, expected to go up to 79, and that's Fahrenheit. So in Celsius, that's 17 going up to 26. So yeah, it's much warmer than it normally is. Alright, so yeah, this will work. I think, let's see, players picked, players in game. So one thing we definitely have to do if we're going to go this route is this, players in game dot push longest waiting player. So this player has to be in the game. And then potential player IDs dot delete longest waiting player dot ID. You need the air conditioner? Yeah, you kidding? Like 80 degrees outside? And that's outside. Like here I feel like it's hotter because I have the computer running and I'm just I'm just confined here in this box of a room. Yeah, I'm uncomfortable if I don't have the AC running in this weather. 14 degrees Celsius where I live and we're dying because it's hot. Yeah. I think that's somewhere between, like, so 14 degrees Celsius is probably the perfect temperature, maybe, for taking walks outside and everything. Because it's not too cold. Actually, anything from like 14 to 18. Then, yeah, once it gets higher, it's too hot. Can't go running outside anymore. I don't have an air conditioner in summer that'll be 95 degrees. Yeah, what? And that's okay with you? For me, that's too hot. I mean, I might not mind if I was just alone here, but like I'm not gonna stream at 95 degrees. I don't want to just sweat actively for like 8 hours in front of people. That's kind of weird. Okay, so we know for sure the longest waiting player should be in the game. So add them immediately. Now, what I need to do here, we have a for each, and I guess we can get the values of this. Values. Set iterator. So I have to do for I of. That's not what I wanted exactly. What's entries do? Another set iterator. Oh, nice. What about keys? Is there? Oh, come on. Is there some way to not iterate this? Has, delete, size. See, if I just... Actually, that's kind of interesting. If I did just iterate over this, I'm always probably going to have it... No, never mind. But I will just do that for right now. Here was 22 to 24 all the time. Yeah. I think for a room that's fine. Okay, so players in game. I need to iterate over this. Let's see how I even do this. Is it what? For I of potential players, console.log I? What is this? 4, 6. Yeah. So I could iterate over this, and actually something else I'm kind of wondering here. What if I did ld.values potential players? Does this work? No, it doesn't work. What about keys? Nope. Doesn't know how to use this stuff. I wonder if Lodash has a new function for this. Is set, is weak set. Yeah, they don't have it yet. They'll probably add it at some point. Hey, White Angel. Okay, well, for let ID of potential player IDs. So just pull the missing players from the set. So I'll say, and we know for sure we have enough. So actually what I could do here is, well, it doesn't matter. So let's do players in game dot push. We're gonna need the player object itself. I don't have that anywhere, do I? Do I? I saved off player IDs here. Can I make a set with a certain comparator? No. JS, why do you have to use triple equals when comparing? I know equals for declaring. Yeah, triple equals compares types. Yep, chat is right. Yeah, and to give you an example of that, if you can have some kind of weird things happen. So if you do something like this is going to be true, and the reason why is because this 1 is going to get coerced into a string. So you might say, okay, well that kind of makes sense, right? But then you can do things like this where you say new array 1 equals 1. And you would not expect an array to be this, but I'm pretty sure this is true. Wait, that's not true. Do I have to say quotes? Wait, how do I? Okay, that works. Oh, new array 1 is probably just an array of length 1. Yeah, anyway, this is not something you'd expect to be true. So that's why you use triple equals. There are other things like null equals undefined. That's kind of strange. There's just a lot of weird rules with double equals. So you just be safe and use triple equals. Not chat is right, I am right. Well, what about MCS Mike? He's part of chat too. All right, so I don't have any listing of IDs to players. So I actually think I want to change how this works. All right, let's do iteration number 2. So instead of a new set, let's make this a map. So potential players, and this will be IDs to player objects. So we'll do potential players. So const player equals player array j. So player.id equals player. Okay. Then here, when we do potential, so now we can't do this anymore. We have to do underscore dot size potential players. Also, this is gonna count values, and we're gonna need the values anyway. So how about we just save those off? Const. So potential players by ID, and then const potential players equals underscore dot values by ID. Okay, so if the number of these is greater than the number of players needed for a game, then we for sure are going to add this, and then we can, I guess, can remove this, delete. Then we do some sort of random sampling. Now I believe that if we have an array, so let's try this out. Array equals whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. ld.sample array 3. Can we just randomly pull 3 things? No, I don't think so. I thought sample took an argument. Sample collection returns a random element. I could just do this repeatedly, but there's no function to this for me. So I'm looking for a junior web dev job. Do you think it's a good idea? I mean, in general, yes, but that's such a subjective question. Or like, what about it might be a bad idea? Are you really busy right now? Are you, yeah, is it sample size? I don't know. It's n random elements. Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, actually, today needs to be updated. Let me add com today. Adam is something something. Adam is working on getting the matchmaker set up. And we'll say this. I have a job, I just don't like what I'm doing and I want to be a web developer. Then yes, it is a great idea. In fact, that's one of the best ideas. Like a lot of people, I'm not saying I'm not saying you could really, like, it's your life. So, but I think some people will try to switch jobs because of what I consider to be bad reasons. And sometimes that's, I don't know, like, I got this advice a while ago, and I think it's good advice. Just make sure you're not running from something, make sure you're going to something. I think that's the best way I can sum that up. Like, your job might be really bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should go to job B. It might mean you should just leave job A. But yeah, White Angel, it sounds like you got good reasons. Okay, so here then we want to do sample size. So players in game dot, and I believe here's what I want to do. So sample size, good, and we can just do something like, let's say we had our players in game already contained the number 9. We can just do players in game dot concat ld dot sample size array 3, right? Yeah, great. Okay, so players in game dot concat underscore dot sample size potential players dot this dot players per game -1. Hey, Tom Servos. My face is waving at you. So players in game dot concat. So this is fine. So now we have the players in game, and that's it, right? And I should say to do we should. For now we just pick players until we have enough. For now we randomly pick players until we have enough, but in the future we should probably randomly sample from all flex levels. That's actually already being done. So we are randomly sampling from all flex levels by doing this. Perhaps we may want to change this in the future so that it takes as many people from longest waiting players level as possible before reaching into other levels. I don't think I'm ever going to do this, but I'll write it down anyway. Alright, and then the rest of this is already done. So this makes the code much simpler, I believe, because all of this stuff can just be gone. And then this problem can't occur any longer. Right? I'm pretty sure. I should delete all this and then we'll take a look. So let's see. Whoops. Put my elbow down right on the corner of the desk. Right on the edge, I mean. Okay, so potential players. So here, let's say we ran into this situation. Let's just copy paste this up to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from min, which is going to be 5 in this case, to max, which is going to be 10. We're going to get all of the players, so we'll get this one first. And we'll add them to this map by ID. So the first time we find 13 and the first time we find 20, we'll add them here. So by the end of level 5, this will be length 3. Then we get to level 6, and we're not going to add these people again because they already exist. So this will still be length 3. And still length 3, still length 3, still length 3. And then finally we find a new player and we get to length 4. Now, there are no new players in level 10, so we only have 4 total, and we need 6 to start a game. So when we get to here, we're not going to have enough. So this is fixed. So we can just delete this. Yeah, nice. And I should probably write some comment about this at some point. I just don't have the time to learn properly, and I'm not getting paid for what I know and what I want. That's the most annoying thing in my current job. Well, yeah, not having time can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be a lot that you spend on this stuff. Maybe you spend even just 10 minutes a day, if you could spare that, trying to learn web dev stuff. That's enough to at least learn some basics. Ever thought of trying a new Sublime theme? No, I actually haven't. I really like this theme. Plus, would I... is there a way to change this outside of just going into the settings? I've like never changed my theme after the first time. I found one that I liked. I think... Oh well, I don't want to change it. Oh, here it is. Color scheme. At least I think. Monakai Phoenix. Yeah. What is this? I don't think I want to even choose this. Okay. So check to see if we have enough players to start a game. And then if we don't, we're going to just return null. We'll know that immediately, though. And Digital Crosshair, thanks for following. Should use the material theme. A bit easier on the eyes. Let me see what it looks like, but I don't know if I'm going to want to switch. So I'm on Monakai. Oh, I don't have material. I need to install it. Yeah, I'm fine with this for now. Edge of Task op. Yeah. Okay, so if we made a game, then we have to make sure the players are removed from any data structures. We also need to keep track of stats. That's all this stuff is doing, and then return players in game. Yeah, so this is just stats tracking stuff. Okay, I think I like this code better. I think we're going to use this. I think the only thing I need to do is figure out what the comment for this is. So this is a mapping of player IDs to player objects. It's important that we keep track of unique players only for cases like this. And cases like this refers to this. In the above example, we only have 4 unique players, but we may think that we have, what, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11? We may think that we have 11. Okay, so now check to see if we have enough players to start a game. So potential players.length. Yep. Yep, looks good. Okay, let's take this entire thing. Probably all of this too. So let's just take from longest waiting player downward to here. Perfect. Okay, so now this stuff is all of the... Oh, this isn't just stats taking. There's also this, remove from skill arrays. That's going to be important. Right, yeah, that's going to be important. So how about this? If players in game.length is less than 0, less than or equal to 0, let's just return null here. So I'll just change this, and we'll just do return null. And now all of this doesn't have to be tabbed in at all. So this goes down here, and then we say, if we couldn't make a game, just return null now. And then we made a game. So then the next thing we need to do, remove all of the players, update players by skill so that none of the players who will be in the game are represented there any longer. Right, okay. None of the players who will be in the game are represented there. Venice. Okay, then remove all players from wait time list so that we don't try to queue with them later. Adam, do you make websites as well? I don't. I think there are a couple of components to making websites. One is the technical component, and I could do that part. And then the other one is the more creative component, and that I'm really bad at. But also, I have no real need to make websites. Sure, I have bot.land, and yes, this is terrible. But I will eventually have this be better, and I'll just... someone else will design it. And how long have you been programming, and are you self-taught or college? So, I haven't been sharing how long I've been programming for, but that's kind of my code journey that I had botland bot paste in. So move them all from there. This part we'll keep here. This is just for stats, current time. Figure out the wait time for each player, for each user. Players in game, wait time, current time minus join time, wait times on push. I wonder if I could just pass this off to some stats keeping thing. Max skill levels. Yeah, I'm gonna say this. This dot records stats for game created, players in game. We're gonna export all of this stuff over to there. That way this function is a little bit easier. Record stats for, so players in game. Yeah. So this function is currently terrible. I'm gonna need to change it. Records some statistics about this should be called after finding a match for players. It will record some statistics about how long it took, skill discrepancies, etc. Okay, so players in game is an array of players, and then this doesn't return anything. So first, we generated a game, so increment that. That's totally cool. Figure out the wait time for each player. Now, I do 2 for eaches here, and I don't think wait time is actually needed in both of these, so I can probably just do this. Print out the skill levels. Is this logged anywhere? It's not. Skill levels not pushed. Game start. No. Oh no. None of this is done. I don't know about that. Yeah, I don't know about this. But either way, this doesn't have to exist. We could just do it this way. And then put all of this up here. So skill level difference. This we might want to save in the class. I don't know about this string part here. That's the only issue. Made a game, skill level difference. Skill level difference. Max skill levels minus min skill levels. I don't even, well, I do kind of need to do this. Okay, fine. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. We'll get rid of this. Skill total does not seem to be needed. Yeah, we don't need that. So skill equals get player skill, and then push it onto skill levels. And that way we can get the skill level difference. Yeah, I think this can be helpful. We'll do that. So figure out the wait time for each user and skill discrepancies. Yeah. Skill level difference. We need to save this off somewhere. So here's what I'm thinking of doing. If I show you this, code, JavaScript, matchmaking, node main. So the way this works right now is every time a match is made, and it'll happen sometime soon. Wait for it. There it is. Okay. Oh, number of games match 0. Oh, there we go. So check that out. So here we made a game of a skill level 4 person, 2 5s, a 6, and 7s. And the skill level difference there is 3. But that's not really representative of anything, is it? Hey, Wheatley. I think what's more representative is, let's take that same sample size. So 6, 5, 4, 5, 7, 7. So the skill difference is 3. But I think what's more important is I don't know what's more important, actually. What is the... What's this skill average? So I guess the weird thing is if you had 4, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. So that's what, 39 divided by 6. So this is the skill average. The skill difference is still 3. Are these useful statistics at all to have? If few people are in queue, is it possible for a match to be 0? No, you need at least 6. So you need 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 7. Skill standard deviation seems more useful. Yeah, I agree. But even then, do I even care about that? What do I do with that information? I guess I find out that there's a pretty large discrepancy there. Standard deviation. Calculate the deviations of each data point from the mean and square the result of each. The variance is the mean of these values. It's the average of the difference everyone is from the average. Yeah, I think that is helpful. Okay. Use median, not average. No, I'm not really using either one right now for this. Also, hey, law beginner. Okay, so let's code this. And then let's test it and make sure it works. So, JavaScript function standard deviation. So we have some array, or values, I guess. And let's also do this. Const ld equals require lodash. Or does Lodash give me this? Maybe it has it by default already. Standard, no. Oh, thanks, Jafili. 10 points to Jafili. How's it going? Okay, so first calculate, so first get the average. Const mean equals, I think there's a way for Lodash to do this. Yeah, there it is. So underscore dot mean, or whoops, ld dot mean values. So get the average, then calculate the deviations of each data point from the mean and square the result of each. And the population standard deviation is equal to the square root of the variance. Square root of the average of the squared deviations of the values from their average value. Okay, great. So yeah, I guess only an administrator has access to that command. Rigged. Okay, fine. Here's the giveaway. So this will calm everybody else down. So we take each value and we get the const deviations equals this deviations dot push. So it's value minus mean squared. Okay. And I'll clean this up in the end. Alright, the variance is the mean of those values. So const variance equals ld dot mean, whoops, this is supposed to be ld dot mean deviations, and then we take the square root of that, which is what in JavaScript? Math dot square root? Yeah. Also, do we have math dot power? Yeah, 4 comma 3. Yeah, cool, we do. So we'll just use math dot power here. Although even that's typically, whatever, I don't really care. We're just gonna write this. So the answer of this is, so return math dot square root variance. Okay. So let's run this now. So standard deviation of, let's take the values right from Wikipedia. 2, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 7, 9 is 2. Perfect. Okay, so what's the standard deviation of the values that I had here? So this, for example, standard deviation of 6, 5, 4, 5, 7, 7 is 1.1. So deviation is 1.12, let's say. And then the standard deviation of this of 4, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 is 1 point, well, also 1, 2. 1 point, let's do it that way, I guess. Values dot map value to math dot power value minus mean 2. Yeah, like I said, I wanted to clean this up. All right, another point. Wouldn't that be 1.11? Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, that was, learning how to round is something that like little kids learn, and Adam forgot. So let's do this. So deviations equals ld dot values value. I can just return math dot power value minus mean 2. Cool. Okay, so let's try that, and we should get the same result we got before. Yeah, good. Okay, well, I don't know how useful this is. Like, now I probably I want to store this somehow. I just don't know how. Maybe get the minimum standard deviation and the maximum. But even then, like, what am I going to do with these stats? Stats are pretty much useless to keep track of if you're not going to do anything with them. And I need to think about this. So let's say we got a standard deviation that was super high. That means that our matchmaking algorithm is broken. Probably. Doesn't even necessarily mean that. I'll just keep track of the average, I think. Adam's finger maneuvering overpowered. This is all Digital Crosshair's ever going to say. Everything's overpowered. Okay, so in botland util, where is that? Here. I do have Lodash, so I think we can just throw this into here. It's always nice to have stats. Well, and then I need to make sure the stats are meaningful, because I can't keep track of everything, because I don't have that much memory. Well, I guess I could persist it to disk. But still, what's most useful? Is it max standard deviation and min and mean? Is it... The minimum is going to be 0, right? Because if these are all 7, yeah, 0. Yeah, the minimum is always going to be 0. There's going to be some game where you all get paired with people the same skill level. That's going to be 0. So we don't need to keep track of that at all. In fact, maybe just the max is important. I don't know. Hey. Well, yeah. I guess even the max zone, like, what do I do? Okay, the worst you could possibly get is a game of 10, 1, 10, 1, 10, 1. That's a standard deviation of 4.5. But suppose I saw that. What does it even... This doesn't mean anything to me. I think I just care about the average. Doing a split job today. Thanks, man. Can't you just store the values as is and then use them as you want later? Yeah, I could do that. And then it becomes an issue of how do I use the values later? Do I save them to a database and then process them later? Do I open up an API that lets me get those values? Do you think I could land a job with only JavaScript knowledge, no frameworks or something? I think you could, yeah. I think the ability to learn is more valuable than what it is you already know. Show results, please. What, Marvel? Is Adam coming back online? Am I not online right now? Can people hear me? Do you guys still see me? I am streaming right now. Okay, great. Yeah, alright. I was just a little concerned. No, Kappa. Okay, I think I'm going to keep track of the average standard deviation. I think that's what I want here. So let's put this function into this code. And I think I'll throw it down at the bottom here. Export function, standard deviation. And then LD everywhere changes to underscore. Results of game. Oh, you mean just... By the way, Botland is still totally free to play right now. The most important thing is the space between 1, 9 equal 10 equals 9. What is bad? What? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, the thing is, the majority of the time that's going to be... Okay, so here's why I don't think that's the biggest thing that's important. In this case, this is actually a pretty good game to match people with. Like, these people are going to be happy because they made it through the queue, and there's going to be one person who's paired with like slightly higher level players. So the skill difference is 3, but the standard deviation is actually pretty low. Yeah, so the game still looks almost the same that it always has looked. I've been working on the back end for a while. Also, this is like way more players than should be in a game. Okay, so I want to save this off. Standard deviation formula that I took, that I referenced from Wikipedia. So this is an array of numbers, and it returns a number. Most matchmaking systems use standard deviation to determine how to best to match up players. Yeah, and at first in Botland, what we're going to care about most is speed, because there won't be many players. So we're just going to want people to get into matches as soon as there's enough players. There will probably be some hidden skill level at some point. Are you going to take the last X matches into account for matchmaking? I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. We're still talking about that. Ranking in games is a very highly opinionated topic, I feel. You have games that use an MMR or an ELO. You have games that use just number of wins that you have or win ratio. There's a lot to consider. But again, none of that matters if you don't have players. If you don't have players, there's no one to matchmake. So I think at first what we're going to do is we're probably just going to say everyone in the game is skill level 1 or 2 even. And then there is no variance. Only level 1s get matched and only level 2s get matched. Something like that, where it's just dead simple and relatively transparent maybe. You're going to have a visible rank or just win-loss? I'm not sure about that yet either. We're still talking about that. And that's something that matchmaking doesn't need at first. Like I said, if we just cram everyone into the same rank, then matches will be formed almost instantaneously. And obviously the downside of that is that the matches will have players of all different skill levels in it. And at first, that's okay. If you're playing like that for a month or two, I think it's fine. Like eventually it would probably get frustrating, and that's when hopefully we have a player base where we can start to do a more advanced matchmaking algorithm. But yeah, not yet. Not yet, we can't. So I need to export this. So let's open up package.json and bump this up to 1.0.1. Then go over to modules, util, and publish this. Should go up to 1.0.1. Good. Why is this taking so long? Oh, it was on my hard drive, that's why. Okay. And then the last thing we do is commit this code. And let's try using that. Let's go to desktop del, make dir util test cd util test npm init-y npm install save botland util node. Meow murmur. Thanks for following. Alright, so const u equals require botland util. And now u dot standard deviation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, good, cool. So there are no bugs there. Looks good, looks good. Added the standard deviation function. Barks loudly. Uh-oh. Oh, darn it. Okay, hang on, I gotta add this key then, huh? Okay, so that's not gonna work, that's gonna fail. Great, that's fine. Now I just copy this over to here, hit OK, and then we try re-pushing that code. What's going on? I just need to push, okay. Alright, this should work this time, because I typed in the, yep, good, okay, good. Okay, and then before I forget, let's go into infra matchmaker and just do an npm update. Assuming I have botland util being used, this will update it. And I don't, so let's go use it. How does that sound? So let's get const util equals require botland util. Then let's save. So it's npm install save. Then I need to change how this works because I want it to be any version of this. So this is going to be a star, as are all of the other botland things. And as long as I'm here, let me see. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay, good. So now we have access to this. Next, in our statistics function, not that one, game something or other, this one. Yeah, so what am I going to do here? I have the skill levels, and then at the end of this, we want to say const standard deviation skill level standard deviation equals util dot standard deviation skill levels. And then we want to save off the last X number of these. So let's go do that. I believe we're saving 5,000 wait times. So this dot skill level standard devs standard. I'm gonna actually type out deviations. Yeah, and as long as we're at it, let's type that out here too. So going back up to here, every time we make a match, we record the. So we're recording wait time. Why don't we just record all of the statistics of a match? It's probably a better way to do things. Wait times dot push, and then wait times are used here. Yeah, let's record all stats. This dot match stats equals an array. So every time we make a match, we record the amount of time waited in milliseconds here. The array is capped. Okay, so every time we make a match, we record some statistics about the match. This array is capped at a size equal to max wait times to track. That's going to have to change names, and that's not even true. Wow. Okay, so to do, make sure that max wait times to track is respected, then rename it. Is this never gonna give you up? Yeah. I can tell without running it. Gotta be cleverer than that to fool me. Actually, no, you don't. You just need to link the YouTube URL, which, if I recall, starts with DQ in it. So you need to obscure it somehow. I don't know. So every time we make a match, we record some statistics about the match. This array is capped at a size equal to max wait times to track. This only exists so that we can find statistics about wait time. That is not even true. So this is now an array of objects, and we should probably standardize on this object format. Each object has wait time, number in milliseconds, and skill levels standard deviation. The standard deviation of skill levels, and that's a number as well, actually. Millisecond. Wait, what? Wait time. Wait times. Ugh. Push. This is for each player. Oh, that's not good. Maybe. Ugh, it's not good. Yeah. Maybe I don't do this, or maybe wait times are gonna be an array, so we'll keep track of 30,000 of them. What do you know that starts with DQ? The Rickroll video, doesn't it? Like, if you hover over this, is this not? Yeah, see, the first two letters are DQ. Thanks for reading out what you're typing. It allows me to look at my gaming screen. Reading out what I'm typing overpowered. Can someone post the output? Alright, so yeah, here's the problem. So a match has 6 players. They all have their own wait times, but only has 1 standard deviation of skill levels. So I guess what we're going to do here is only keep track of maybe 2,000 of these. And yeah, so this is going to be an array of numbers. milliseconds wait time for each player. Yeah, I mean, why do you know this? Oh, because it's Rickroll, and because people try to... Oh, I see what you were asking originally, White Angel. Yeah, because people try to trick you. It's the internet. Can't be any geek off the streets. Oh, let's go do this. The number of times we should track. So the number of entries in match stats that we should track. Okay, so get rid of this. This should be changed to max match stats to track. Then wait times is now done away with. What is this? Wait time list. Wait times. So this changes. Let's do const wait times equals an array. Up here, push them all. That wait times, great. This all needs to change. Log wait time stats. Yep, that all needs to change. Okay, I only have an hour left because today's a weird day, so I'm gonna try to keep going fast about this. Okay, so how do we do this? When we have an array, 1, 2, 3, we're going to do a dot push 4. And then when we determine that the length is too much, we do a dot unshift. No, that's not what I wanted. A dot JavaScript remove from beginning of array. What is it, just splice? From end of array from beginning. Oh, it's shift, not unshift. What is unshift? Yeah, shift is what I wanted. I just got here, Adam. Got to stay at least 6 more hours. That would typically be the plan, to spend another 7 hours here. But today is a weird day. So I am going to go give a speech about the stream, actually. And I've got to travel a little bit for it. So yeah, I'm going to be taking some time off in the middle of the day. It's not really time off. I'm doing something. Okay, so we do this. This dot match stats. Nope. Can't do it. It's match stats. Match stats. Match stats. So stats object equals wait times and skill level standard deviation. Right? Is this the same thing that I wanted up here? Skill level standard deviation. Yes, great. So we're going to store both those things. We're going to push this stats object. And then if this dot match stats dot length is greater than or equal to this dot match, no, only if it's greater than, this dot max match stats to track, then this dot match stats dot shift. So make sure we don't just infinitely add to this array without removing elements. Where's the speech? It's at Microsoft. Tomorrow the entire stream is going to be filled with his new fans. He's going to gather in an hour. Adam, you going to record your talk? No. Well, it's not up to me to record it. But also, I don't know if it's recorded. And finally, even if it was recorded, I don't know if I'd put it on YouTube. This is the kind of thing that you guys already know all about, because you're watching the stream. So it'd probably be a very boring speech for you to listen to. I actually gave a speech about a month ago on Sublime. And I've told this story before, but I was typing, I said something like, you guys know how single cursors work. You type words here, right? And I said, but with multiple cursors, and I typed this out, I said, I have 1 cursor, and I said, I have 4 cursors. And because no one in the room had really used Sublime, they're like, oh, what did he just do? But like, I do this all the time on stream, so this is the kind of thing where you guys see this and you're like, whatever, I don't care. Or I use Vim, he's an idiot for using Sublime. But it's the same thing with this speech that I'm giving today. It's about the stream. So if I demonstrated something like that here, you wouldn't be excited. So if I told you about the stream that you're already watching, you could stream the speech. It actually would be pretty funny if I said at the end of it, like, I've been recording you this whole time. I don't actually wear glasses. And then you guys all saw it live streaming immediately. We're the cool people already. Do you get paid to talk, or what's the benefit between you and Microsoft? There's no benefit. I don't get paid. It's a public speaking club at Microsoft, and I used to be a part of it. And they invited me back to speak. So it's not, I mean, Microsoft happens to be the location, but it's not really related to Microsoft. It's Microsoft people, but other than that, it's not like the company Microsoft. Well, thanks, Dad Sparrow. If you want to watch, this is, for some reason, I linked this video I think once before. No one's ever commented on this, but if you want to watch me actually give a speech on something, that's for my personal YouTube channel. I came in 3rd place, so that was not the greatest. I'm just going to be handing out free salvage packs. Yeah, we'll see about that. Skill level, standard deviation. So we got the wait times, we got the skill levels. I think this is good. I think the only thing I need to change now is this. Max wait times to track. Max wait times to track. That's this. Max match stats to track. So wait times is no longer a thing, right? Yeah, not this wait times, but these are. So I got to fix this. So wait times, we've got to gather up all of the different wait times. Const all wait times equals this dot match stats dot. Now there's a way to do this, and I'm gonna figure it out. Where did Lodash go? Here it is. No, that's not it. Well, I had a node open with Lodash already used. Well, it's just faster for me to do this again. Node const LD equals require Lodash. So I've got an array of objects, and the objects have wait times, and the wait times are an array. So let's try to fake this thing. Wait times 3, 4. Now if I do ld dot map a wait times, what do I get? All of the arrays. So if I do ld dot flatten, cool, perfect. That was easy. Take that. So I do underscore dot flatten, underscore dot map, this dot match stats, comma wait times. Is it times or is it time? Yeah, it's times. Perfect. Now, instead of this dot wait times, I just make use of all wait times. Perfect. Nice. Yeah, it's Toastmasters. Should have just made a bot read the speech for it. See, Ivan is. Is it worth learning Node.js? Yeah, I think so. It all depends on what you want to do. So, if you just want to learn, or if you actually plan on using JavaScript server side, yeah, I think it's really worthwhile. At the very least, just so you can find out what the pros and cons are. And after that, it's up to you whether you want to use it. I definitely prefer it over something like PHP. Then you could have just stayed here to stream. Well, why don't I just write a bot to write code for me then? All right, so really the only goal I have for this morning is to finish all of this up, test it out, and make sure it's working. And I might need a generate player function. Stream the speech to them. Yeah. How are you sandboxing the bot code? So there's a lot of validation that's done beforehand, Tom Servo. I don't know if I actually showed you how some of this works, but if I go to, how would I show you this? Well, there's a way that I could show you, but basically I have, let me find this, software validated Barnet, come on. There, so I have this entire class. The only responsibility of it is to make sure that your code is valid and that it's converted into botland safe code. So when you write something like this, update equals function move right, what's really happening is it turns into like bot12345 dot update equals function check time executor dot move right. So your code is transformed code versus the code you typed. This prevents infinite loops. This prevents you from stomping over someone else's function, and this prevents you from having to use the this variable. So there's a lot of stuff that happens underneath. When do you plan to stream tonight, Adam? So currently it is 10:12. The meeting is at 12. So I'm going to stop streaming in about 45 minutes because I got to make it to the meeting on time. Then there might be lunch. I don't know. And then there's a travel back. So maybe 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I don't know. That's just a guess. Doing static analysis, yeah, and also just outright preventing certain things, Tom Servo. So for example, if you go into, well, you can log into Botland right now, or even if you don't have, so first of all, Botland is completely free to access. Right now, just type Botland bot game and you'll get a password sent to you immediately. Make sure whispers are enabled. Okay, so there's that. If you were to go to this URL and you were to try typing bot code in, it's not good. So for example, you type a val hello world or something like that, it'll say you're trying to call a function that's not recognized. If you try to do something like this dot foo equals bar, like this is really simple code, right? But it still says you can't use member expressions. So you can't do a lot of things. You can't even make a new object. So if you said something like b equals 5, totally cool. There's a check mark next to your code. If you say something like c equals an object, not allowed. And if you hit deploy, like it just won't do anything because this is all getting sent to the server eventually. Yeah, who knows if you'll have anyone to play with. That's true. I mean, I could connect and deploy a bot. That way you'll at least have one person to play with. Oh, chat needs to be cleared when you join a match. I never thought of that. Let me write that down. So chat needs to be cleared before a match is joined. Whenever a match is joined, or at least whenever you transition from single player to multiplayer. Otherwise, you'll see buff information about AI players. Alright, let's see. So Tom Servo is connected. Let's load up my bot and deploy it. There are my bots. Do you plan to support classes in ES6 on user code? No. There's no reason to support classes because you can just define your own functions if you want, and classes don't actually make it any more useful, I think. And ES6, like, that's more questionable, but probably not. Like, I wonder if you can even do this. Yeah, I don't plan on supporting it. With hacked clients, could you create an object simply by ignoring that, or would the server reject it too? Yeah, the server would reject it. Also, hey Digite, I didn't see you say hi earlier. And that's what's important. The server is doing all this validation. Your client happens to be doing it as well, just for your sake of knowing whether you can press the deploy button. But yeah. How do I get to the code editor? Press J. Or you can press B and then hit edit in JS. So anything that you type in Blockly can be converted to JavaScript, but not vice versa right now. So here's the entire script that I made in Blockly. And so if I wanted to change these values without having to click this and say like, no, 75%, and then this thing and say, no, I want them to move randomly, you just edit in JavaScript and pretty quickly do it here. Change this and change something else. Okay, so finishing this up. I'll just say that this is a player. Have I coded all of this now? Let's try running the matchmaker. Not that I think it matters too much. I had to close out of all of these tabs. There. Let's try that. See what happens. I don't. Also, why do I keep like moving out of my webcam frame? There. All right. So connection refused 8080. Why is that? Got network traffic when we weren't expecting it. Added an endpoint matchmaker. So the matchmaker connected to us. Oh, and then everything worked fine. Okay. So just made 0 matches. Number of players in queue 0. I think I have an idea here, but I don't have long to implement it, and I have to use the bathroom. So I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. Digitay says, would you create an app to cover a browser for better mobile support? And you would usage if it was on the App Store too. Yeah, so at some point, I plan on supporting mobile better than I am now. Because right now, it's what I would say barely usable on mobile. So we'll get to that point hopefully, but there's a lot of other things to do in the meantime. Also, am I still okay? So I'm gonna redeploy my bots. Like I said, if anyone wants to get access to the game, just whisper botland bot the word game. Okay. So here's what I have to do. And here's what my idea was. It's make a REST API that simulates adding a player to the queue. Or we don't do that. What we do is our generate player function that we had before. So let's just go to that. Generate player did this sort of thing. So let's do debug generate player. So what did this look like before? It was this. So there was an ID of next ID. I can just do if this dot next ID equals undefined, this dot next ID equals 0. So get the ID, get a skill level. We don't have the random integer function, but we do have it in util, which I've now included. Min skill, max skill, that's fine. And then don't allow people to be higher skill level as frequently. That's fine. Make a new, let's let, make a new player. Okay, insert into heap by skill no longer exists. It's just add player, this dot add player to queue, player, done. This language is really restrictive. I can't even make an object. Yeah, no, I know. And the thing is, you shouldn't really have a reason to make an object. Like, Tom Servo, the point isn't to let people just plop in any random JavaScript program, and if it happens to work for Botland, then great. It's to make paradigmatic Botland code easy. And in that sense, I think it's easy. You can do all the things that you'd want to do in order to use this. There are some issues. Arrays aren't working yet. Arrays are definitely something you'd want. But the reason why arrays aren't working is because there's nothing to actually enumerate all the enemies around you. Do you store your OneNote on OneDrive? Yeah, I do. And hey Skynet, hey Superman. So Tom Servo, there is a scenario where you could envision wanting to make an object, sure, but it's not necessary to do anything. In fact, you should be able to do almost everything you'd ever want to do in just Blockly. And that's the goal here. So and that's kind of weird to some people because they see this and they think this is a coding game. And I see this and I say this is an automation game, and it's not even one where you have to write the automation yourself. What separates Botland from other games is you can literally copy paste someone else's strategy by doing this, copy and paste, and now you have their strategy. So we don't expect players to come up with their own stuff if they don't want to. There will be pre-made scripts. There will be blocks of scripts you can use. There's probably going to be a block here where you could just say, and I've mentioned this before, but you'd be able to just say, figure it out. And this could be a valid script. And if you do this and you deploy this bot with Teleport and Inferno Zapper, it'll know what to do. So that kind of informs some of the decisions about like why you can't make objects, for example. Now, if there's a compelling enough reason, like let's say more than 10% of the user base wanted us to make objects, then we'd have to consider it. But that opens us up to a lot of attacks as well. And then I'd probably just sandbox the code. So I think it's a natural progression of the game. As you sandbox the code more heavily, you're spending more resources on it, and at that point maybe we can afford the resources. Because the typical way to do it is to start a new VM and give it only a subset of the context and don't let it access everything. Cool, do you think it would have made more sense to build your own DSL than instead of building one out of JavaScript syntax? I did that for a previous iteration of Botland, but I think I don't know. Like, here's what I expect. If this game gets popular, then I'd say probably 90% of the people who play it, and that's just me making up a number totally, but about 90% of the people who play it will only ever interact with like this screen, for example. Like they'll say, yeah, I want this script that I made before. Or they'll copy paste other people's scripts. That stuff will be fine. So in that sense, it almost doesn't matter what the language is because you still are going to want a visual interface for it. The fact that this converts to JavaScript underneath is somewhat arbitrary. Spurman, just yesterday you were saying, I got really good at figuring out time zones because of Twitch. But yeah, I'm going to be going in about half an hour, yeah, like what Remy said. So I have the debug generate player. Let's just do a set interval, this dot debug generate player dot bind this, and we'll just run this every 100 milliseconds, and then I'll try running this again. So let's see what happens here. It should, okay, good. So you can see it's adding players to the queue, and then it fails. Flex change amount is not defined. Where's that coming from? Aha, that should have been just return 1. Yeah. Okay, so let's change that. Player.js const flex change amount equals 1. When updating a player's flex property, we only ever change it by this amount. Flex change amount. So this and this. Bad at time in general. All right, let's try it out. Okay, so check it out. It says just made one match, just made one match, just made one match. So now what we want, oh, just made 12 matches. Wow. So yeah, this is kind of the issue with the matchmaking algorithm right now. Although it's going to be mitigated in the future by a lot of different things. The important thing is that we have some wait time statistics, so let's print those out every once in a while. Let's do this. Set interval. What's the function that logs statistics? Log overall statistics. Let's log these once every 3 seconds, or 5 seconds. Let's do that. So I'll just rerun this program, and now we'll get a bunch of stats every 5 seconds. Or we'll get an error. Yeah, okay, so that's a lot of not a number that I did not expect to see. Yeah, that's too bad. All right, I gotta fix all that. I always flex when I change it to. Okay, so players by wait time. Wait time list. Does this even exist? Convert. Oh, this should have been a this. That's why it's not a number, right? No, 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 that's not why it's not a number. No, this shouldn't have been this. Never mind, I take that back. So what's going wrong with this? String player ID. Huh. The IDs aren't being set correctly? Or what's going on here? Wait time list is not correct? I have a feeling, no, that's fine. Add player to queue. The ID is next oh, whoops. That's the problem right there. I accidentally capitalized the D in ID. Okay, well, at least I noticed that. And now we have a different error. Potential player IDs is not defined. Yeah, this doesn't exist anymore. What was I supposed to be doing here? This, players in game. This should have been potential players. And it should have been like poll. Underscore dot poll, potential players, longest waiting player dot ID. That won't even work, will it? This is Batman calling. Add them to the players in the game and then remove, yeah. Let's try that. I have a feeling this is still going to be a little bit wonky, but hopefully we'll see. Yeah, okay. So what are the statistics we're getting here? Longest queue length is set to 40. Oh, that's fine. No. What I want is the longest wait time. Oh, there it is. Total wait time. Mean wait time. Total wait time. Oh, total wait times. Number. Okay, it's a confusing way to word things. Total wait time. What I meant to do is number of wait times included in stats below. Okay, so let's see what we have though. The average wait time is 3.2 seconds. The median wait time is 3.6 seconds, and the maximum was 5.8. All right. So how about we print out these stats more frequently? Let's do it every 500 milliseconds. So now you'll see how this forms up. So here we have players 0, 1, 2, and 3. And as time goes on, they will spread out into the other skill levels here. I didn't let it run for long enough for you to see that. And when does this happen, actually? Player update frequency is every 1 second. Flex update frequency is every 3 seconds. Matchmake frequency is every 500 milliseconds. Okay, well let's watch as these things change. So you can see the queues are building up, and it's forming matches out of these. Okay, so take a look at this now. So player 62. Player 62 is of skill level 2, but because they've been waiting for so long, they bled into level 1 and into level 3. So that's what that flex amount is for. So now, in order to form a match for player 62, they're in this entire pool of people. Now, what you might say is, how did the queues get that long? Because there's obviously enough people to make a game, so why hasn't the game been made? And the reason why is because of player 50. Player 50 has been waiting for much longer than player 62, but does not have a match that can be made yet, because they're only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. So because player 50 is the highest skill level in the game, they're holding up the matchmaking process for everybody else. What are semantic fields? I'm not sure what you mean. Have I just seen you re-implementing array.join? Wait, did I? That would be really dumb. Yeah, you did. No, not quite. Because it's .join, but it's on the IDs. And the players here are just players. So I need to specify my custom. Whatever. Yeah, so There are a couple of ways you can address a problem like this, and I even wrote them down over here, which I need to include this in here somewhere. This should go into matchmake. Okay, so I'll say right now the algorithm is only ever trying to find a match for the person who waited the longest. So I wrote this means if you can't find a match for the person who waited the longest, you're going to hold everybody else up. And that's exactly what we saw here. So we have player 50 is holding up all of the other players. Like, there are probably 3 matches we could form out of these couple of levels here. So I said solution number 1 is maybe we try to find a match for the person who waited the longest in each skill level. So for example, here we try to find a match for player 61. Here we try to find one for 53, etc., etc. I said downside, yeah. The downside is a very unfortunate thing. And I'll try to just visually represent this right now. So imagine if you're player 50, you've been waiting the longest. And the longest time so far is like, 7 seconds. So you've been waiting 7 seconds for a game and nothing's happened yet. And you're just watching some like loading bar spin on your screen or something. And now you get placed into skill level 9. Because the matchmaking says, all right, you're the top level of player and I can't find a match for you, so I'm going to treat you as though you're a level lower. Well, there still aren't enough people. So now let's say, since you're holding up the rest of the matchmaking queue, let's say level 8 had 6 people in it ready to join a match. And we say, all right, we're just going to go and form them into a game. So now level 8 would be empty. Now when player 50 finally bleeds into level 8 as well, there will be no players there. So that's the problem, is that by using this, we hurt the people who wait the longest, and we help the people who could join a match. Overall, it would get faster, but for those 1 or 2 players who are leagues better than everybody else, they're waiting way longer. So players, map. Yeah, that's, yep. In fact, I don't even need to do that, I think. Well, I could do that. But I had this, right? So let's take a look. So if I go to node, cons ld equals require load dash. This won't work because I gotta be in the right folder. So I have, let's say, players equals ID 5, ID 4, and then convert players. So yeah, that works. Or I could have done ld.map players ID dot join comma. Yeah. Alright, sure. You don't even need load dash for that. Yeah, I know you don't, but I might as well just use it. Okay. Well, anyway, that's matchmaking for you. So you can see this kind of build up. And there are a lot of different variables I can tweak here. For example, check this out. Let's say I did this. Let's say every time we updated a player, I set this to 0. So let's say now if you're at like the top skill level here, you'll start filling up the entire matchmaking queue pretty much immediately. Actually, yeah, this is the exact same thing. So now matchmaking is happening as fast as possible. Yeah, interesting. And you can see the stats here. Max wait time is 4 seconds. Oh, I played StarCraft, but my APM was like 70. Not very good at all. Also, the way I like to play an RTS is by building, at one of every building and upgrading my army to maximum and then moving out. And that's not how you're supposed to play any RTS competitively. I used to really like Command and Conquer. Tiberian Sun were the glory days. All right, well, it's just a matter of checking this in and also probably commenting this function. This is just a, let's start IDs at negative and work the way down. No, that's probably a bad idea. Start the IDs as something very large. No, that's fine. This is just a debug function that will simulate adding a player to the queue. You should never use this function in production code because it may stomp on real players' IDs. Okay, so this is no longer needed and this is no longer needed. I'm going to leave these here though. I'll just say uncomment these for testing. Hey, Mr. Cheap. I always end up crashing whatever I'm making whenever I use for. Yeah, I do think for loops are kind of strange in JS. And I think what's interesting is whenever you do type a for loop out normally in JavaScript, so let's say I do this. Oops, not that one, the other one. That one. So I have some players, right? Players I, so const player equals player I. This is normal JavaScript code. And then I make another thing and I iterate over the players, I don't know, items. What's really annoying is anytime you try copy pasting code from here to somewhere else, you got to make sure, did I use the J variable already? Did I not? And that's why I think a lot of frameworks are steering toward this of like, just do this. And now you don't necessarily need an iterator. And if you need it, you could just do index there, probably. I don't know if that's the API or not. And then just use your item here. Use item here. So despite having written the prototype code for this already, I mean, hammering this into a usable form still took some time. So yeah, okay. Also, standard deviation's not printing out. Yeah. You're right, Mr. Cheap. There's one more thing I should be doing here. In logging overall... Wait, actually, that probably would... I don't know, whatever. Okay, so in ES5, this was an issue. It's probably been fixed by block scoped variables. All right, so this should be the perfect class at this point. So despite having written the prototype code for this already, I mean, hammering this into a usable form still took some time. So yeah, okay. Also, standard deviation's not printing out. Yeah. You're right, Mr. Cheap. There's one more thing I should be doing here. In logging overall statistics, I should log the average standard deviations. All skill levels. What is this? Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Number of total players seen. Let's do const average skill level standard deviation equals. So how do I do this? Underscore dot mean. I need to get all of the, I think I can just do underscore dot map, this dot match stats, skill level standard deviation. Average skill level standard deviation. Does that work? Let's try. Not a number. I was afraid of that. Average skill level standard deviation. So what am I doing wrong here? Underscore dot mean, underscore dot map. Oh, wait a second. No, this should be right. Does that match that skill level standard deviation? What is this doing? So let's just print out this dot match stats. And I'll figure out what's going wrong here. It's an array of nothing. Well, maybe that's the problem. I wish Lodash and friends. Oh, by the way, Mr. Cheap, I don't know. I am not a doctor. I don't know if this is even true, but apparently vitamin E helps get over caffeine withdrawal symptoms. Let's just take a daily vitamin, I guess. I I wish Lodash and friends, instead of adding custom higher level function, focus more on making custom generators. Yeah, my code's already transformed a lot over the course of this project. So match stats doesn't have anything in it? That means I'm probably not calling this function, but I am, right? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This, if match stats length is greater than this dot match stats subtract. What's going on here? Is this not being called? It is. Players in game. Push stats object. Let's try that. Okay. This is... Oh, matches weren't formed. That's why. That's why that's not a number. That's actually fine then. So I just needed to leave this running for long enough, and then everything would have been fine. Aha! So now we're getting an average skill level deviation of 0. I find that hard to believe. Number of games matched 14. Number of games matched 8. So that means it's somehow in here. No, that's impossible. At least I think that's impossible. Let's take a look at the stats object. Yeah, all this stuff is printing out. Skill levels dot push skill player dot get skill. So, and I guess the other thing I should print out at the end of this is standard deviation. Oh man, I gotta get going pretty soon. So yeah, what am I doing wrong here? Let's find out. There we go. 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 2, 2. No, that's correct. It happens to be matching people who are exactly the levels they should be. I don't... Man, that's annoying. I don't know how loud that is. I can go close my window if I need to, though. Also, I don't know when that's going to stop. So let's change the flex update time to 0, and then that should definitely get... That should be modified. Yeah, skill level's 6. Ooh, that's a huge problem. Yeah, what is going on here? Oh, this isn't good. For some reason, players in game sometimes contains only one person, because it was printing skill levels of just a single person. How is that possible? Pull. Players in game, remove from skill level. Players in game like less than 0. At this point, the number of players we have in here has to be equal to... Yeah, so we need to do this. Assert dot equal players in game dot length this dot num players per game. Right, this should be set to 6. Yep, good. Incorrect number of players in game. Well, we got to put this assert down here. I have a feeling that assert is going to get hit, which means there is a problem here. Yep, there we go. Assert is not defined. Okay, well, let's put this here then. There. Can you leave the stream on so we can listen to it while you're out? JS people quickly jumped into using generators and coroutines. I haven't embraced them in an initial goal. Okay, so this just crashed without printing anything. And that is quite strange. Oh, here it printed it. Incorrect number of players in game. It should... Man, it should have told me how many it expected and how many it had. Oh, I'm thinking Mocha that does that. Of course. Okay, so this is going to error out. There we go. So how many people did it think? 1. Yeah, it's making games of just one person. I'm glad I'm figuring this out now. Players. So how is this possible? So if players with same skill dot length is greater than or equal to players in the game, then just slice off the first 6 people. And we're good. And there's probably no way that that can fail. So let's do this. Let's just return null from here. So now the only way we can form matches is if we have everyone of the same skill level. Will this ever error out? Also, what happened there? Yeah. Wait, no, that's not even correct. Oh, no, I know what's going on. Okay, so also note these players are all at the same skill level, but that's possibly due to their flex amount. Which means this is probably not a great thing to do here. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay, well that worked. So it's this part that's not working. Relevant list. Each inner array is an entire skill level's worth of arrays. Players by ID. Go through all of those arrays and just add all of the players. Okay. Then get all the values. If it's greater than or equal to that, players in game.push longest waiting player, who would definitely have been there. Then pull them from the potential players. Then concat sample size. Such players, this all players in per game -1. What is going wrong here? Okay, I think I need to debug this. All right, I've got 10 minutes. I can try to do this. Node -- debug break main. Then here we say if players in game dot length is less than 6 debugger. Then in here I run node inspector -- web port equals 8085. And then I just call run, and that should break in. Okay, good. Now I just hit the play button and I wait. And it'll break into that debugger, and then I'll be able to figure out what happened here. So is this set to 1? It is. And is this the player who's been waiting the longest? Yes. Because their ID is 0, and that's what this starts as. So how did these things all fail? Potential players. We have 5 other players. What happened here? Oh, when we have exactly 6 players, I never added in... No, that doesn't make any sense. Players by skill. So what is the skill? The min here was 2, and the max was 4. So we care about all of those players. So in 2, is player 0 here? Yes. 0, 1, 2, 6. Then we have 0, 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Those are all the players we need. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. I just need to make sure that's correct. 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Yes, good. So players in game should contain... no, this one should contain 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. 1, there it is, ID 1. 2, 3, 5, and 6. Perfect. Okay, so I understand that. So potential players was correct. But then the weird part was... No, we would have stepped into this function. What did a players in game dot push? Push longest waiting player, which was ID 0. And then pull them from the potential player. How did this not work? Sample size? The only thing I could think of is that whoops, I don't know what I'm doing. Where's Lodash? There. So ld.sample size, if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want 5, it should always give me 5 elements, right? Yeah, it does. It's not that that's going wrong then. Yeah, Zans, I'm just not sure what's going wrong here. Like I have all the information I need, and yet I can't find the bug. The issue is that potential players, maybe this if statement's never being hit. It's actually possible. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just log what this is. So stringify, and do I get that output over here in the console? Allow console match stats. Yeah. Okay, so let's do potential players. Let's try running this again. So close out of these things. Leave this page, sure. I gotta get going really soon. What is this doing? This is supposed to break into the code. There we go. Okay, so we hit play and we just wait. So break in, and we'll see 6 players print out here. Potential players 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay, so we know for sure that's 6, and it's an array, so we know that we have dot length on it. And where are we here? So right here, potential players dot length was 6. And this dot players per game is also 6. Right? Evaluate. Yeah, 6. Which is how I printed that in the first place. So then I pushed the longest waiting player, which is what exactly? ID 3, which should not show up in here. Oh, no, that should show up in there. That's fine. What it shouldn't show up in is players in game. So we shouldn't see ID 3 in here. Darn it, I'm wrong again. I meant potential players. Okay, yeah, there. Yep. And yep, okay, good. So what could be going wrong here? Well, let's sample this. Let's just call this exact same function and figure out what's going here. 5 players. Sounds totally fine to me. Players in game. So does this line of code not do what I think it does? Oh, whoops. Oh, God. This is a really minor error. I thought that mutated the array. It doesn't. Concat is not... Okay, so here's a quick summary of what I thought happened. When you do this and you say a.concat b, I thought a was modified, but it's not. So what I meant to do is a.concat b and then set it to the... Okay. Well, do I do that anywhere else? I don't even have concat anywhere else in this code. And it's almost been 2 hours. Yeah, I know. I gotta just... Let's just test this out. This is something that like has to be true. And if this ever fails, so if players in game dot length is not equal to this dot... Wait, this wasn't even... Yeah, this is not players per game. Okay. Logger dot error, critical error. Generated a game with only players in game dot length players. Players in game. Potential players. These should probably be stringified. Is there any other information that could help here? I guess the longest waiting player. That one too. Okay, let's try that out. In fact, let's have this. I don't have time for this. I can't do all this. We can try, but it's not gonna... Did I put a debugger in here still? Yes, I did. Okay, good. So let's refresh this page. All right, and now we just let it run, and nothing should go wrong. And you can see the average skill level standard deviation is 0.9. That's not too bad. Failfish squared. Alright, I can comment out the rest of this stuff. Run away already? Yeah, I'm going to do that very shortly. Console.anything. This stuff needs to go away. This, for example, this. Do I have anything else printing out here that shouldn't? Or any other... There was in the constructor here. This stuff. I've got to comment these things out too. And then we should be good. So the debugger's listening on port. Don't care. Refresh this and hit play. Stop running that. Matchmaker run. Get rid of that. Close out of the inspector. Unhandled error event. Who knows why that happened? Probably because I closed out of the debugger. Okay, so that's just going to print forever. That's actually kind of a bad idea. Just made. How about if num matches made is greater than 0, then we print this out. So the majority of the time it's just going to do nothing. Okay, great. And then if we comment in the constructor code that I had there, then it'll be a little bit noisier. Well, that's a lot noisier, but let's get rid of that middle one there. Okay, I like have to go after this. Good. All right, this is fine. Go to the meeting. I'm stressing you out. Okay, so let's write this. Where I left off, I just finished up the matchmaking algorithm and tested everything out. It should be good to check in after linting it. Okay, so for everyone who was not here earlier today, read Twitter. let me paste this in here. Does that work? Oh, that's a bug. I'm gonna have to fix at some point too. Fix Twitter. Okay, yeah, read Twitter. That's it. I gotta go. So I'll see you guys later in the afternoon. But yeah, take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.